redistricting is the redrawing of lines in single-member districts where there are representatives representing voters. Who controls Congress depends on who gets elected, and who gets elected depends on how the lines are drawn. Legislators want X, they want to get reelected, they want to help their party. Redistricting definitely does that. They are constrained by the Voting Rights Act, and sometimes they ignore it, and then they get sued, and then sometimes they do it and they comply, and then the districts last for 10 years.
Part of the issue here is because it's technical, it is difficult for a lot of Americans to wrap their heads around, and they often don't realize that a lot of this game is being played the way it's being played.
Going back to in California, when Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor, he took this on as a huge thing in California where he didn't like the way that the legislators redrew their lines, who basically wanted reform. And then the legislators were opposed, right? And the legislators didn't want reform. And California is a ballot initiative state. So you take a reform measure to the ballot and you say, we're going to get rid of legislators drawing the lines, we're going to have a commission draw the lines. And then that passed. And it passed for state legislature and it passed for Congress. And so we've now had 2 cycles because of a ballot initiative that passed way back in the late 2000s. And so that's happened all across the country. Without question, the people drawing the lines are more diverse in 2021 than they were in 2001 and 2002. After the 2012 commission, there was greater diversity of elected officials in the California state legislature and Congress, especially among Asian Americans and Latinos. Most of the literature argues that changing the demographics of a legislature actually leads to differences in policy outcomes too. Most of the research also shows political party is way more important for substantive outcomes and what policy gets passed than the race, ethnicity, or gender of those who are elected. I would guess we're going to see some reform efforts even in states that have redistricting commissions about how could it be done better. I think that one of the key goals should be for a commission, how do you get input from as many people as possible in as public a way as possible? I also think the number of commissioners might be something to think about too. Maybe 5 is too small. Maybe you want a few more people so there's a few more voices in the room. I think we're going to also see a lot of legislator-led reform movements to change commissions because they don't have control over the process. And it's going to appear to be a reform, but it may in fact actually be an attempt by legislators to take back more of their power to redraw lines in states where they're commissioned. I think it's important to try to weigh in as much as you can on the process if you're a voter.